We all must have heard about the NHL, the professional ice hockey league that has fans from all around the world. It has very much importance and is watched all around the world. Because of that, the players are not expected to make any mistakes. But when they do, well, it becomes history. Do you know some embarrassing moments that the NHL has ever witnessed? In this video, we will discover some of the most embarrassing NHL moments. If you are as curious as me and are ready to cringe, let us dive in, guys. The referee plays a major role in the game and ensures the game maintains fairness. Chris Rooney is one of the famous referees of the NHL, but he faced many mean and funny comments for his voice cracking in one of his announcements. This happened on January 26, 2011. It was during a game between the Vancouver Canucks and the Chicago Blackhawks. During the announcements of penalties, his voice cracked and sounded more squeaky because of the malfunctioning of his microphone. But this incident happened because of some technical errors, and Chris Rooney personally made no mistake in this issue. Technical issues are common while hosting a live event. After this particular incident, Chris Rooney became more famous. Who would have thought Chris Rooney would become famous like this? Ever heard of the famous former professional ice hockey players Aaron Downey and Brad Norton? What if I tell you that they once tried to start a fight in the middle of the game? Aaron Downey is a former Canadian ice hockey player. He played as a right winger and is known for his exceptional talent and won the Stanley Cup with the Red Wings in 2008. He was famous for raising fights against the opposite team as well. We are going to talk about one such incident. Brad Norton is also a former Canadian ice hockey player and was known for his skills. He was a defenseman who became famous for his physique as well. He was one of the largest players in the NHL at that time. The incident that we are going to talk about is the fight that happened between Aaron Downey and Brad Norton. This fight happened on April 6, 2006. If we take a look at the clip of them from that day, we can see both of them circling around, facing one another in a boxer-like gesture. But they didn't even try to throw a punch, and this lasted for around 3 minutes. At last, the linesman came and stopped this fight between them. If this is not embarrassing, then what is? If you think that was the most embarrassing incident, the next player that we are about to discuss now said that Nelson Mandela is a world-famous athlete. Imagine yourself giving the most stupid answers about famous personalities in one of your interviews and getting grilled by the whole world. Pretty bad, right? Jonathan Bernier used to play junior hockey in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, QMJHL, before joining the NHL. His NHL journey began in 2007. He was a backup goaltender at that time. In one of his interviews, Jonathan Bernier said, "Nelson Mandela is a famous athlete, and he is very talented and left an impact in whichever sport he played." He even said that Nelson Mandela changed everything when he was with Jonathan. He was very confident while saying all these. I wish I had this much confidence as Jonathan. Well, now you might think everybody makes a mistake, but seriously, Nelson Mandela, an athlete. Mark Stahl is a famous former professional ice hockey player who started his career in the NHL in 2007. He became famous for his attractive defenseman skills. He played a major role in the team's success. He has better leadership qualities that made him even more famous among other players. He once served as an alternate captain. He became a role model to many and earned the respect of everyone. He was indeed a legend. Alexander Semin is also a former professional ice hockey player. He was Russian, but became a famous hockey player in the NHL. He used to play hockey for the Russian Super League before starting his journey in the National Hockey League. He started his career in the NHL in 2003. Both Mark and Alexander were famous, and other team members used to respect them. But what will happen if one day they start fighting like children? Yes, in one of the matches, they got into a heated argument and resulted in a fight. This was one of the most embarrassing fights that the NHL has ever witnessed. The people say that this fight was very funny, and it seemed like Mark Stahl was getting played like a bongo by Alexander Semin. Well, if you look into the clip of that fight, you would indeed think the same. Do you think an anthem singer can make the event embarrassing? Well, I'll tell you about one such incident that happened in the National Hockey League. Have you ever heard of the famous opera singer Mark Donnelly? He is famous for singing the Canadian national anthem, O Canada, in many sporting events. Singing the anthem has an important role in any sporting event. It is a symbol of patriotism, culture, and respect. Mark Donnelly sang the national anthem in the National Hockey League for many years. He was famous for his performances at Vancouver Canucks games. He made sure that each of his performances were memorable. But what if his performance becomes unexpectedly famous for one silly accident? During one of his performances, he wanted to sing the anthem with some creativity. He attempted to sing the anthem while skating, but he fell on the ground while he was skating and singing at the same time. Even though he fell, he managed to sing the anthem without even losing a beat. We can call that pure talent, right? Mark Donnelly became more famous after this incident. Do you know what Bryan McCabe did? While he was desperate to win a goal, he must have never thought that would be the most embarrassing moment of his life in the National Hockey League that everyone will never forget. You must be thinking, what has he done to get so many sarcastic comments? Well, let us see your reaction when you get to know what he has done. Bryan McCabe is a former ice hockey professional who was very famous in the NHL. Before he started his career in the NHL, he played junior hockey in the Ontario Hockey League, OHL. He started his career in the National Hockey League during the 1995 to 1996 season. His most important contributions happened during the time when he was with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He also has a leadership quality, and thus he served as an alternate captain. He also represented Canada in international events. So, how did he contribute to bringing embarrassment to the entire NHL? It was a game between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Buffalo Sabres. This wasn't an easy game for Bryan. He was so desperate to win the game. Because of this, he shot the goal in his own net. He scored in his own net. How embarrassing that would have been for Bryan, his team, and the whole NHL. From all these incidents, we can conclude that many embarrassing moments happened in the famous National Hockey League. We can say that the place where the players' talents are showcased can also be a place where they do cringe things. The National Hockey League never fails to provide entertainment for the fans, even if they are in the form of funny incidents that accidentally happen. Which incident do you think is the most embarrassing one in the history of the National Hockey League? Leave your answers in the comments section. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure you show us some love by smashing that like button and subscribing if you haven't already.